Hey, what's going on? This is Dr. Jeff bringing you the first ever Advantage book review. And before you hit stop, before you try and get off this video page, make sure you listen up. This is a big one because on this first one, as in the preview, you guys saw I am reviewing Dr. Saul's book, ADHD Does Not Exist, written by a medical doctor. So first off, I've got to say, it was a catchy title. It caught my attention as I'm sure it doesn't with a lot of people. Obviously, it was a title for a reason. And so as I was thumbing through it initially, kind of getting some reviews, I decided to buy it and I decided to read it. Mainly because, as you guys know, in my office, we are one of the top offices in the state on helping kids break free from behavioral problems, ADHD, attention, those type of symptoms and those things that come into the home and ruin and disrupt families and also school and classrooms. And so we've got a number of kids. You guys have seen the pictures. In fact, I'll cut to a couple here. Look at that. I love it. That is so awesome. Of kids getting rid of their ADHD medication, going in that freedom jar. And so this one hit in my wheelhouse when I saw, hey, I want to check out that book. So right away, I want to let you know some of the stats that hit me that were updated and that are in my, like I said, I follow this stuff, but ADHD in general is up 41% in the last 10 years. So we're seeing a dramatic rise. It used to be one of those things where we didn't talk about it, parents, it was more of a taboo thing, but now it's not uncommon to be like, oh man, little Johnny down the block, yeah, they just diagnosed him with ADHD, and the neighbors kind of look around and they're like, I could have told you that type of deal. The alarming thing though, right away, in the first couple of pages of the book, it goes through the costs of how it affects our households when someone has and struggles with ADHD. And so going through that, we all know that costs fall on us all, right? The cost of lost productivity, stress in the household. But the interesting thing is that 36 to $52 billion, and this was in 2005, you guys. So do you think that's went up or down? It's probably went up. But $17,000, 458 per person is about the cost across the board. That was in 2005. Now you add in lost productivity, all those different aspects, and it only goes up. So 143.8 million lost days of productivity annually across, and this was even across 10 countries. But what that does is that spills over, and here's the hidden cost per household. I want to go through this as up to, in 2010, $266 billion. There's some hidden costs. For example, this was, parents had to leave work. They had to go pick up their kid from school. They had to miss all these things. So the productivity cost, get this, $2,360 per household. Now that means even if your child doesn't have ADHD, if you're watching this now and you're like, that's not me, that's across the household because of productivity, where say someone leaves from work, someone else has got to make up that difference, so to speak. There's still jobs that need to be done. And so that was right away some of the stats that hit early on in this book by Dr. Saul. What I love is that when he dove into his explanation behind ADHD and how he truly stands, he feels it does not exist. And from a medical doctor's point of view, it was an interesting, dynamic, because that's usually not the case in the medical world. It's flat out. But he goes on to say, if you were having a heart attack and you go in and you have chest pain, with the heart attack associated, they don't diagnose you with the chest pain. They diagnose you with having a heart attack and the chest pain being a symptom. Now he relates that to ADHD being one of the few things we actually have a full-blown medical diagnosis that is describing the symptoms. So Dr. Saul's approach says there's about 20 underlying medical conditions that are the root cause of what we call ADHD. And when those are recognized and treated appropriately, that the symptoms of ADHD goes away, thus giving us the title of ADHD Does Not Exist. So, where does that hit you, Advantage Army? I would love to hear it below. I would like to see your comments on this topic and get a discussion going. I want to share with you another story recently now that was in the office, and I haven't aired this one yet, on some of the breakthroughs that we've seen. And I'll have a link to it here very shortly. But the big thing with this is that it affects our homes. We know there's things out there. We know there's things going on. And coming up very, very soon, this book actually inspired me to create a resource that's going to have its own website. It's going to have its own living space to be there permanently for parents and teachers and educators, whoever, community leaders, other chiropractors that can go to and actually explain, okay, well, why is it that if there's 20 other underlying medical diagnoses that are producing these symptoms of ADHD, how is it in your office, Dr. Jeff, as a chiropractor, you're seeing kids start care, come through our system, be analyzed first. Remember, I'm not saying chiropractic is the cure-all in every single case. I'm saying if we see your child's scans and they match up in coordination to how their nervous system's functioning, I mean, there's a lot of details. Bottom line, if we see scans in the pattern that I know I can help change and help your son or daughter be healthier, and we say we can help, flat out, we get results. That's the name of the game. And so underneath here, you can see I've got these bookmarks here, some major underlying causes that have their roots in chiropractic and neurology. So it was exciting for me to read as a chiropractor saying, okay, that's exactly why and exactly how we can help. So Advantage Army, I would be interested to see what you think of this book. It'll be here at the office for you guys to borrow if you want to read it and flip through it. And as always, like and share this video. This information gets out because of you. And I'm going to be doing more book reviews. I've got 2 more books this week to read on the topic of ADHD as we continue to make Scott County the healthiest county in Minnesota. I appreciate all your help. Keep living your advantage, and we'll talk to you soon.